What's up, guys? A friend of mine lent me this BluGuitar Amp 1. And so I thought it might be a good, for a few days, and I thought it might be a good opportunity to shoot a quick video of it. I don't know if I'll post this or not, but I had a little time with one of these before, and I felt like I turned a few knobs, played a few sounds, and that was about it. But what I didn't realize was the controls on the side that Thomas Blug has put on this thing are they're little bitty controls, but they impact quite a bit. And so what I've done is I have spent some time dialing this in, and I didn't want to make a video on me going over all the features of the BluGuitar. There's other videos that do that, but I wanted to kind of tell you how I've dialed this in, and if you like my tones that I'm getting from it, I'm gonna show you what my settings are. So we've got the BluGuitar. This is the Mercury Edition, and we're going out to a 2x12 speaker that's right behind me. This is the Fender Bass Breaker cab. Just playing with a little Sterling Music Man cutlass, and just going straight in, no pedals or anything. And so what I've done is I've dialed it in where I've got just a touch of reverb, and all the controls are pretty much neutral. So the global controls right here in the middle, and I'll show you a close-up of this here in a little bit, but bass, middle, and treble are all on 5. Actually, the middle is dialed out just a little bit. Master switch up top is on 5. Gain is on 5. Master's on 5 for the overdrive channel, and the volume for the clean channel is actually on 8. And the reason I did that is because what I wanted to do was get a good sounding clean channel, and then get it to where when you hit the boost, it will give you that extra sparkle, but not increase the volume very much. You can do that. I have it currently set on this switch over here on the side, which controls the boost volume, where it doesn't really increase the volume that much. It just adds some sparkle to whatever tone you're on. And when you hit the overdrive here, each of the overdrive channels, vintage, classic, and modern, I've got those set to where I feel like the tone kind of the volume increases a little, but the tone kind of takes a step up each time you go from vintage to classic to modern. And when I first started messing around with this unit, out of the box, first of all, let me start over. Out of the box, what you should do when you get your BluGuitar unit is do a factory reset on it. And the reason is because there's some modes that you can put this thing in that might affect your enjoyment of it. And so if you want to make sure that you're evaluating it fairly, you need to do a factory reset. Now there's some advanced modes where it can actually cut the power of the unit in half, or maybe 60% power, and some other stuff that you can do, which you can go read about. But what I have actually done is set a mode that cuts the gain on the overdrive channels down. And the reason for that is because I guess when I read about it, Thomas Blug was saying it basically makes it like, instead of plugging into the high gain input of an amp, or the whatever you would call high gain input, you're plugging into the low. And but to me, it felt like that the gain had a lot more usable range when it's booted up in this mode. Now that's personal preference, but let me run through the tones and see what you think. So here is the neck pickup on the cutlass here. dynamic range just like a real tube amp. You know, like the harder I attack, the more volume and pop that comes out. So really cool. So clean channel. Let's boost that. I don't know if you can tell, but that added a lot of sparkle and upper mid range to the tone. So, but it didn't get a great deal louder. But you can make it get louder if you want to do that. I just don't have it dialed in that way currently. All right, let's move to an overdrive. The first overdrive channel is going to be vintage, and again, gain and master are 12 o'clock. Middle pickup. Bridge pickup. Let's move up to the classic. Back to the neck pickup. Middle. Bridge. All right. Let's move up to the modern channel. Neck pickup. Middle. And bridge. Pretty cool stuff. Very when it's set up in this low gain mode, man, it really reminds me of what I would think an older Marshall amp would sound like on all three channels. They're basically just different degrees of saturation, and you know, since your controls are right down the middle, I mean, you can go up or down from that point. So I won't run through all that because there's an endless amount of combinations that you could essentially go through, but hopefully that'll give you an idea of what you could do by setting your overdrive to the lower gain mode. I'm not sure exactly what the mode is called, lower gain or whatever, but I think all you have to do that is to hold the boost button while you turn on the power, or one of these buttons. I can't remember which one it is for sure. I think it was the boost, but definitely do a factory reset on your Blug. Set it to the low gain mode and spend some time dialing in these controls on the side, because the tone controls, especially for the classic and modern channels, make a huge difference. And spend some time getting your tone and your volume correct for an overall good experience as you're moving through the channels, because there's other ways you can set this thing up where you can actually switch between all the channels, and you're not just, you don't just have to pick the clean in either one of the three overdrives. So that makes it pretty neat. But let me put this guitar down here for a second, and I'm gonna first show you, see if we can get this in frame here. So I'm going to show you what the controls look like as they're set on the front right now, and you can do a screen grab of that if you like the tones I was getting. And then, let's see here. Now this is going to be hard to see, Thanks a lot, Thomas, for not putting a white dot on there or anything for us to reference. Just kidding. Thomas Blug is pretty awesome for coming up with this thing. But hopefully that right there will give you an idea of how I've got this set if you like the way the tones are right there. So I thought it would be cool to do a video like this because there's a lot of videos out there, but not many people show you how to get specific tones that I saw. And you know, once you get in here and start messing with the different modes and the different ways you can set it up, you realize it's a lot more powerful than you may have initially thought. If you just turn it on and kind of, you know, run through it real quick, you've got to spend some time with it to really dial it in. But once you do, it's pretty cool. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. One more thing. Thanks to Dr. McFarland for letting me borrow his BluGuitar Amp 1 and check out and to review. I appreciate it. I'll put a link to his channel down below.